name's Amy Kessler. I'm a Humane Society police officer for Glyphic Creatures Rescue in Red Lion, Pennsylvania. On February 19th of 2014, I was called out to a house by an anonymous caller. There was a complaint about dogs outside. They were concerned about their well-being. Too thin, they were afraid they were starving, and it was extremely cold this winter. When I got there, the first thing I noticed was the enormous amount of animals that were on the property, mainly horses. The dogs looked okay at that time, thin, matted, but okay. The horses, 3 out of the 13 were emaciated to the point where they were 2 out of 5, which is only 1 step above a walking skeleton. My contact with the owners that day did not go very well. I tried to educate, ask for ask for veterinarian records, and I got screamed at, called names, which does happen on occasion, usually by people that have something to hide. We've always pushed education, tried to educate people and help them out, gone out of our way to purchase food, help them find low-cost veterinary care, do whatever we could to help the situation. We never want to take anybody's animals, but this was a situation where one horse needed immediate care. She had what they call horse lice. She was infested, which meant the whole herd was infested. I've only ever seen it one time before in my life, and it was 20 years ago. And they were jumping off of the horse and onto me. The situation got that irate, and that we had to call state police for backup. And the owner of the property was actually cited for harassment and later found guilty. The woman, the girlfriend on the property, signed the horse over to me, and I walked the horse up the road with a state trooper in a cruiser behind me just to get it off the property and try to defuse the situation. I knew I'd have to come back. I have certain rights as a humane officer, being a police officer, but then again, there's laws, there's a lot of things that I cannot do. I can't stay on a property and look at all the animals unless I have a search warrant. So 9 days later, a lot of organization with the help of the DA and Judge Olwert from Stewartstown, I got my search warrant signed, and I took York County Sheriff's Department's Criminal Response Unit with me, 10 wonderful guys, and I executed a search warrant. And we took 2 hours evaluating the property. I had a vet on the property, I had another Humane Society police officer, a partner of mine, and we deemed the entire property under 5511C, which is the animal cruelty laws in the statute of Pennsylvania, unsanitary conditions. It was parasitic. It was nothing but manure and animal feces, dead animals, where live animals were walking over top of. It was a hoarding situation that was the worst that I've ever seen since I became a humane officer. That day we seized 83 animals total, 78 which were alive. We did leave some dead animals behind because they were so far decomposed it was not possible to scrape them up. We just photographed. Dead rabies vector animals, wild animals where there were unvaccinated dogs walking over top of them in the house, around other people, around other animals. It was bad. So I sat down with Judge Olwert and asked him how he wanted me to handle it. Do you want me to bulk them all together, or can I cite the way I want to? I don't want to make you mad. He said, cite it the way you want to. So I charged them a total of 93 cruelty violations between the 3 people. And I got 63 convictions of guilty. Each conviction carried 90 days prison time and $750 fine. I believe their fines and fees, respectively, with the harassment charge, were over they're $17,000 plus dollars, and I think one was $16,000. And last year, House Bill 82 went into effect. It was called the Cost of Care Act, so that when a seizure like this happens with a small rescue like ours, that many animals, 13 equine, 13 dogs, and all of them needed vet care. The dogs were bacterial skin infections, Lyme disease. One has double entropion in the eyes, blindness. They all need spayed and neutered. They all needed vaccines. Just illness everywhere. Fleas, you name it, they had it. Exotic birds, chickens, pigs, they had everything. It puts a rescue under, especially when you're funded just by donations. We don't get any state funding. We don't get any government funding. This cost of care went into effect to make sure that the owners of the animals pay for the care of their animals until they're surrendered, or until the criminal charges have succeeded. They have a 30-day right to appeal. And a lot of times the owners will keep appealing and appealing and appealing and tie things up in court for 7 years. And these animals sit in limbo at an SPCA or in a rescue somewhere, living in a temporary home. And it's not fair to the animal, and it's certainly not fair to the rescues who are paying the bill and having to care for them for all those years. And it's the owner's duty to pay for their animal, whether it's in their home or costs that they would have incurred had they paid their vet bill, or in some other place. So we were the first rescue to actually take it to trial, and with the help of a bunch of attorneys from Pepper Hamilton and Nadia Dawi, who is one of the top animal law attorneys in Pennsylvania, they donated their time, 6 attorneys pro bono, and ran this through York County under President Judge Linebaugh. And last Wednesday, we won the first ever prosecuted HB 82 cost of care civil case, and when we were awarded $44,000 as of May 6th, and $350 a day thereafter, which I think it's up around $56,000 now, but we'll probably never see it. But at least we set case precedents so that every other rescue now in Pennsylvania has something to follow by. We have case law. So I'm very proud of everybody who has helped us and everyone who stepped forward. It took a whole group of people and a whole village, to really make a difference. And it just shows, and it goes to show what teamwork can actually accomplish when people work together. He bought them, and he bred and bred and bred. They had mange, they had issue after issue. Hoarders have a different type of mentality. They love their animals, but they don't see them in the same light as the normal person would. He had a hoarder breeder mentality, which is really different. He felt they were a commodity that he could just breed, sell, and the more he acquired, the more he wanted to breed, the more money he wanted to make. Half of them had never been to a vet, ever. So it didn't matter if they were sick. It just mattered how much money they could make. At one point, my investigation led me back that he had almost 30 horses. And it's not that he didn't have property. He had 26 acres, but he had the horses contained on a 3rd-acre lot. He had 13 equine on a 3rd-acre dry lot. He only purchased 250 pounds of feed for 13 horses for 34 days. That's this much grain per day per horse. It's no wonder they were emaciated. My 3 horses eat, that's 250 pounds there, and I order every 3 weeks. And I only have 3 horses, and they're easy keepers. They're fat, you saw them. They're not skinny. And they have all that pasture to eat, plus I buy them hay. You know, they eat all the time. No horse should ever have to live like that. No dog, no animal should ever have to live like that. Actually, the humans shouldn't live like that. There was feces in every room, urine stains. The smell was so horrible in the room where the puppies were that I vomited. And for 2 days afterwards, every time I thought about it, I gagged and threw up. And I've been in homes where state police had called me in that there was a body where an owner had passed away, and the grandson called police to go check on grandpa, and he had passed away, and their dog was sitting beside him, and the police were afraid because the dog was protecting the passed away owner. So I would go down and get the dog away, and I could handle that smell. This smell, you could smell it from outside. And they lived in that house, and I just don't understand it. I never will understand it. Come here. Come here first. Come. Good boy. See ya.